Ambassador, I wonder if you felt there was some strength in the point of view, which is that the one victor in all this has been Iran, because the United States neutralized Saddam Hussein, drove the Taliban from office, two strategic enemies of Iran, and Iran is now the predominant power in the Gulf.
Well, it's possible that there are side products from this American intervention, but the major outcome is the fact that the Iraqi people are no longer under dictatorship. We now have an opportunity to build our country the way we want. It's our responsibility. That was not the case under Saddam Hussein. The people in Iraq were totally subjugated. Now, if others have derived benefits from this, or whatever they want to do with that benefit, that's for them. It's for us to safeguard ourselves, safeguard our independence, build the institutions to give us immunity against interference. That is our responsibility.
Senator Warner, given the way things played out, even though you say this was absolutely justified, it was the right thing, but there were problems, has this experience changed the way the United States will act in the future militarily?
Well, I think the United States very carefully thought through the consequences of invading a sovereign nation, and Iraq was, together with our allies. But henceforth, I'm quite certain that our people will be ever more cautious before we go to using force, particularly against a sovereign nation. It has to be absolutely and irrefutably in the best interest of our national security to exercise such force. We cannot be the policemen of the world, nor should we be. And so often when we take on these arduous tasks, like Iraq and to some extent Afghanistan, the people are not grateful for what we've done at this point in time. But let us hope the people in Iraq do profit from their democracy, have their nation built into a strong nation that will take a leadership role for peace and stability in the region someday. They have the intellectual basis to achieve that if they'll just reconcile their differences.
Dr. Korb, how do you see this affecting the conduct of American foreign policy in the future then, in that context? Just to take a simple example, if any future president said, we have intelligence about a threat to us, a lot of people are going to say, well, we just don't believe you because it wasn't right about WMD.
Well, there's no doubt about the fact that the credibility of the United States, both at home and around the world, has suffered. Also because this was the first war, extended war, we ever fought without a draft and without raising taxes. We're broke. We're borrowing 40 cents on every dollar that we spend. And Secretary Gates, in the most recent issue of Foreign Affairs, said he doesn't think we'll do nation building, regime change under fire again. I suspect what would happen is you would have not a counterinsurgency strategy, but a counterterrorism strategy where you would go after the people causing problems, but not try and stay and change a whole state and shape it in a different way.
Ambassador, how long do you think those 50,000 American troops realistically will stay in your country? How long before Iraqis are fully in control of your own security situation?
Well, we are in control of the security situation now, and we have an agreement which says that that every last soldier should leave by the end of 2011. However, we are in the process of forming a government, and the new government, hopefully to be formed soon, will sit down and take stock of the internal security situation and will form its view of what the country needs in terms of security. And upon that assessment, they will enter into dialogue with the United States, no doubt, whether to stick to this agreement, modify it in any shape or form, or make some provisions with the agreement of the United States for future security. This is too difficult to presume right now.
Senator Warner, we know that President Obama is going to address the American people about this tonight, and we also know that he was opposed to the war, and it was a feature of his campaign. What do you think he should say? What kind of things should he say as this chapter draws to a close?
Well, I served with Senator There was then Senator Obama for some years in the Senate. His last years, he was there a short time. Got to know him. I respect him. I don't always agree with him, but I do believe that he will be very contrite and say to the American people, first and foremost, thank you for the sacrifices, particularly of the families of those who were lost and those who are wounded. And as for the future, I think he will stick to the date that all troops leave by 2011. There's no reason why the Iraqis cannot assume their own security and move those troops out and home in the timetable that's set.
Senator, Ambassador, Dr. Korb, thank you all very much.